second press conference for Florida A&M. Coach Colzie, if you could open with the opening statement, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes.
First and foremost, like to kind of congratulate Coach Odoms and his staff. They did a heck of a job preparing for us and giving us some things we weren't necessarily ready for. You go all summer looking at them and some of the things that they did, and then they come out and don't do any of it. But I think we persevered. I thought our offense did a really, really good job of answering. Once we got down 14-0 and let us get our wits about ourselves, and ultimately great football game. I told Rattler Nation that I was hoping for a little adversity. Well, damn. I don't think I wanted it to be that much. But congratulations to our team. Heck of a job persevering and working through the adversity, and extremely excited to head home 1-0.
Okay, we'll now take questions for the student athletes. We're going to start over here to the right, the green shirt, and then blue shirt. Thank you.
What's up, Coach? D. Rich, Maury, Gerald Thomas, Tallahassee Democrat. This for Maury and Daniel. Tell me about, Coach said he wanted y'all to go through some adversity, and y'all boys went through some adversity today. Talk about what y'all learned about the team here. I know, Daniel, this was your first game here. Maury, you've not been here for a year. What did y'all learn about this team? It's like, okay.
Well, being down 14-0, that's when it hit certain guys like, oh man, like, this when adversity hit the fan. Coach said there's gonna be some times where they're gonna punch you in the mouth. It's about responding. How you gonna punch them right back? And at the end of the day, I felt like we were calm. We were very calm. A lot of guys. We had a veteran line. A lot of guys done been there before, and they said last year on the sideline, man, we'd have been in this position last year in Atlanta. I wasn't on the team, but they were down 14-0 as well in the championship game. So, I felt like we came out, we started off slow, but we were able to pick back up.
Yeah, for the most part, exactly what he said. Like, I was on that last year team, national championship. We down 14-0, but we just look at each other like, y'all know we got to go do. We got to go fight. We got to go grind. We got to work a little harder. So that's all it was, though. We don't really, we don't really take too much pressure. Take the pressure and ride with it, you feel me?
Kendrick.
Yeah, I'm Kendrick Marshall, SPU Sports. This for Daniel. You started out the game 1 for 3, 10 yards. You finished the game with 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Game's MVP. Was it a matter for you just settling down after those first couple of drives to really get yourself in rhythm and kind of get comfortable out there?
Yeah, it was just, just getting in rhythm, getting to the playmakers. That's what it was. I wasn't really trying to rush everything, just getting the kinks out. And, O-line said they got me. So, guys made plays tonight.
Question right here in the front.
Don Stinson, DNA Sports Talk. You got the ball back with a little over 6 minutes to go. You've been passing the ball most of the game. What was the mindset and the huddle like, knowing that you had to play ball control?
Well, Coach Colzie came over there and was like, we're going to pound them. And, that's what we did. And we just, managed the game. When we were second and long, we had to I threw a little out route to him. And, we made it happen after that. And, we just kept going.
Can you repeat the question? I thought I was
right. Are you good? Okay.
Okay, my bad.
Maceo Hurd, the Crush Sports Talk. This question for Daniel. Talking about having a playmaker like two in just any kind of situation, knowing that you can give him the ball, he's going to make a play for you.
I feel like he's special. I mean, especially in practice, he'd be like, man, give me the ball. Be open. Just little stuff like that. But I feel like all our guys can make plays. He made plays tonight, but all our guys, can make plays.
It's all love, though. I don't be screaming out. Give me that. Like, hey, I'm open if you need. That's all it is. Don't be screaming out. That's my dog, though.
Yeah.
Mr. Richardson, Troy White, Fat Mouth Sports. There was a key play. You stared down the blitz and through the wide receiver screen. Was that something that you were seeing that was a possibility throughout the game, or did you game plan for it? What came about? What made you be able to make that particular play?
We just on the sideline we drew up because they brought a different bunch of pressures tonight that we didn't go over. We went over them. We seen it before, but they came out, played different fronts, odd front that we haven't seen on film. And when coach made adjustment on the sideline, if they bring that pressure, just be ready to dump it down, and that's what we did.
Jake McDonald, Core 360 Sports. Daniel, did you think you would have to throw the ball 30 times the game? And Jamari, were you happy that he had to throw the ball 30 times?
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we play complementary football. You know, we got to be able to run the ball, open up, and got to be able to throw the ball. So I feel like we did that.
Hey, I feel like the game plan was great. Hey, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. You know, that's what I do. I go block sometimes, but they pay me to throw the ball, you feel me? Catch the ball. So, yeah, I feel like the game plan was great.
We're going to go over here to your right in the black shirt.
Justin Favors, Tomorrow Leader Sports Network, right here in front of you. This is a question for Jamari. Was there any matchup that you seen on film that was favorable, considering you got to the end zone twice with over 100 receiving yards?
Favorable matchups. Not being cocky, but I just go out there and play my game. I don't really look at who in front of me. I just go beat me. And hey, I'm a dog, so you got to come with it. You feel me? A whole game, like you said, we've got 4 quarters. Man, last name Gassett for a reason. I come with gas. I don't get tired. You feel me? So yeah, that's just what it is.
Okay, right here to your left.
Jared Hoffman, HBCUsports.com. Daniel and Jamari, you know, you guys this is your first game together, and you look pretty good, I'd say. You know, so two-parter, how good do you guys think your connection is right now, and how much better can it get as the season progresses?
We're going to be great. Literally, I know I played him my freshman year when we was at Buffalo. He was at Central Michigan, and he ran for 200 yards against us. So I already knew like who he was and what potential he had. I already knew he was a gamer. And I know I'm a gamer, so, like, you know what I'm saying? We dogs. We just going to go out there and play and do what's best for the team. So
I think it just pay off from the summer workouts, you know, just, you know, before practice, get some routes in and just building that chemistry. That's all it is.
Okay, blue shirt right here in the middle.
Yes, my name is Rocky Miller with HBCU Coach's Corner. You guys, Coach Colzie, I want to congratulate you on the victory, you, Daniel, and you as well, Mari. Coming into the game, you guys had a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. It seems like at the beginning of the game, you guys were searching to find what your true identity is as a team. And anyone who wants to answer can answer this question. Going into the game, what did you think your identity was going to be? And then coming out of this game, what do you think your identity actually is?
Just the players. Just the players.
Well, identity going to the game and identity finish the game is like we just always going to finish. We're always going to work, you know what I'm saying? Ain't really too much to it. We got a game plan. Like you said, they came out something different, but we stick to our game plan. We made a little tweaks, but we stick to our game plan.
He said it best.
Appreciate it, brother.
Okay. Over here in the
Alyssa
back.
Cooper with the FAMU, this is for Richardson and Gassett. With you guys being down early in the game, having to go on the road in a neutral site game and having to face adversity early and being able to adapt, how do you feel like that's going to help your confidence throughout the season, and especially being able to come home next weekend and play at home at Bragg?
Well, first thing, we don't lose at Bragg. I mean, that's number one.
Facts.
But I will
Facts.
I will say, you know, watching film, we have to start faster on both sides of the ball and special teams. And, you know, when you start fast, we get in a rhythm. I don't think nobody can stop us.
Final 2 questions in the back. First with Vaughn, and then the lady in the back.
Vaughn with HBCU Game Day Capital Outlook. Daniel, you said last year, December 16th, you had already decided you were going in the portal, and you watched the Celebration Bowl, and you said, wow, that school's got a winning culture. Was it everything you expected leading the team today?
Definitely felt it, especially being down and guys just like, man, we've been here before. We got this. And, you know, guys stepped up to the plate, and we made it happen.
And just saying, like, he knew coming in, like, we got a target on our back. We just won a championship. Everybody going to, if they 0-10 or never won a game, they going to play us like we Alabama or something. Like, you feel me? Like, they going to come hard. So he already know what he stepped into.
Sydney Wicker, WCTV Sports. Jamari, coming into this game, Rattler Nation had no idea who Daniel was. You said you knew him from your last school, but you guys obviously got to know him a lot better throughout practice. What do you think Rattler Nation and the whole world honestly learned about Daniel tonight?
Hey, that he ain't going to never quit. He going to find a way to make it happen. Mr. Make It Happen. That's what I'm going to call him.
especially when it was a play down when I found him in the end zone. We were trying to get the defense jump off sides, and I seen the time was running out, and I was just like, man, I'm finna check it. So I just checked a different play, and you know, it was kind of a little screw up, but I just made something happen and found him in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that second touchdown was on the fly. He caught it right before right before the clock went out, he just check. And I was like, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? So, and then our boy rolled out, came and found him. He's going to make it happen, like I said.
Okay. Daniel was our MVP of the game. Congratulations, and thank you, fellas. Good luck next week.
Thank you. Send me some Chick-fil-A, guys, please.
I got you.
That's all that'll be left, waffle fries.
Okay, we're going to open it up for coaches, questions for Coach. In the back.
Coach, obviously being in Atlanta is nothing new to FAMU. You guys were just here, won the title here. What is it about Atlanta that's so special when it comes to HBCU athletics? You guys get a chance to have this platform and just this experience for these guys as well. What does it all mean being here?
Well, I think we call it the second Tallahassee is what we think we call it. Ain't that, Vaughn? Is that what we call it? You know, obviously a lot of alumni here. And Atlanta is the place you have to come to win the championship. So, I mean, it just happens to be that, getting a chance to start here and hopefully end here. And that's kind of been the motto since taking the job in late January. So, exciting place. It was great atmosphere, a little bit closer than I wanted it to be. But obviously being on the right side of it is always a blessing.
Coach. Over to your right, Coach.
Earl Kitchings Quarterfinal Back Awards. Could you speak to your thoughts about the leadership of Daniel today coming in as a new quarterback, although he had experience, but could you speak to his leadership for leading FAMU starting today?
Well, to me, tonight, I think he just did his job. It wasn't a whole rah-rah speech. It wasn't any of that. It was just a man, we had a game plan. Obviously had to make some tweaks when you got down 14-0, and he was doing what was asked of him by our offensive coordinator and our quarterback coach, right? We, that on that last drive, we actually weren't going to even run a play when it was third down. We weren't even going to run a play. We wanted to try to draw him off sides, and when we got in the huddle and we talked about it, he was pretty adamant about, what we were doing. He went to every lineman to say, we're not running a play, you know what I mean? So, but, it was a young man that when he decided to come here, he wanted to win. He wanted to be a part of the culture. And, tonight was his first step.
Coach, we're going to stay to your right.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, buddy?
Gerald Thomas, Tallahassee Democrat. First off, congratulations on your first win.
Thank you.
Here at FAMU. Coach, like you said, like I asked the players about the adversity. You wanted the adversity. And I feel like, of course, you've known more about this team that the world may know. Seeing your team rally together and make that comeback effort on a national stage once again, as they did last year, what does the world now know about FAMU football under James Colzie III?
Well, first of all, let's talk about that picture that you found of me in the article yesterday. When you guys did an article about me yesterday, and you found a picture of me when I was 8 years old. Now, you got to understand, I have no idea where that picture came from. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. But now, ask that question again, because while you were talking, all I could think about was that picture that you had of me when I was 8. So re-ask that question, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Coach, with y'all making another comeback on the national stage as y'all did at the Celebration Bowl and now doing it here at the MEAC SWAC Challenge. What does the world now know about FAMU football under the James Colzie III era?
Well, first of all, we didn't ask to get down 14-0. That wasn't something that was planned, nor what we wanted. What this team is, we spoke about adversity, last night and throughout the week, right? Just being able to understand that things might not happen the way you want them. And, as they mentioned, there wasn't a lot of, rah-rah, and it was just guys understanding what they needed to do. We had to take care of some details defensively. Offensively, we had to take care of some details as well, because defensively they were doing some things that were a little different. So hats off to our coordinators for making the proper changes. And obviously at the end, it was extremely similar to last year's game against Jackson State, where they held the ball the entire fourth quarter. We had the game, we were winning. The offense got the ball with 8 minutes left, and Jackson State never got the ball back. Tonight, had the ball, 6 minutes left. Norfolk State never got the ball back. So these are situations that we talk about. We talk about end of the game situations, 4-minute situations, and hats off again to what Coach Henry and the offensive staff did. They got us that victory tonight, and again, extremely excited just to be happy to be 1-0. But when you got another MEAC school that you're going to be playing next week. So South Carolina State, they have on film what was successful against us. So now we got to make sure we're ready to get ready for them next weekend.
We're going to go with Vaughn in the back and then Maceo up front.
Well, Wilson, Capital Outlook, HBCU Game Day. Coach, with about 4 minutes left, the offense got a first down, and you had a big smile on your face because the offensive lineman had just blocked and had done what you felt the team was going to be able to rely on this year. You had a big smile like, okay, was that smile, okay, the guys that we knew we could depend on are coming through?
Well, a little bit of a relief because at that time, we needed that first down. Ultimately, when we started the game, that's what we thought we'd be able to do. Be able to pound them out and eat the clock and get our running game going. It was 24-17. And we were doing that, and then we have the fumble. Obviously, changed a little bit of the momentum, but at that time and at that stage of the game, we needed a first down. We needed the clock to run. Norfolk State was running out of timeout, so that first down allowed us to kind of rethink about what we needed to do for the remainder of that drive. So offensive line of always is going to be our strength. They've been our strength. Three preseason all-conference players, a couple other guys that obviously play really, really well. But for us to be successful, our offensive line has to be great, and I think they showed that in the second half.
Coach, Maceo heard the Crush Sports Talk. Talk about resetting a championship culture. Guys can kind of get complacent, but you come in and you have to redirect these guys. Just talk about that process this summer and getting to this point right here.
Well, believe it or not, it started in the spring. Obviously when everything was going on, and I was named the interim. But the beginning of January, I was attacking this as the head coach. Right? We had just won the championship. First week of January, everybody was back in school. We were lifting and training, getting ready to go again. Then you go through spring practice. You finally get your staff together, and we knew that we still had some work to do. And as they mentioned in the summer, we had 85 guys there in the summer. Training and working and doing everything imaginable to possibly be in this type of situation, but being able to overcome it. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a reset. Believe it or not, we are a much, much different team than we were last year. Got some new guys in different spots, new faces. Obviously, you lose the player of the year on both sides of the football. Some other guys are gonna have to play better. And at times we did, and at times we didn't. So what it did say about our football team is that we do understand that we got to play the full game, and they did that tonight. We didn't get down. We didn't get down when we got down, and I'm extremely excited that it's something to build on. We know that we can come back, but I'm not trying to make it a plan to be down every game 14-0. That you can't believe.
We're gonna go to the second row on your left, right?
Jared Hoffman, HBCU Sports. Coach, first of all, congratulations on your first win as head coach of Florida A&M.
Thank you.
Just talk about the mentality of this team in training camp and what went into the decisions you made about the personnel that you wanted to go with going into this game.
Well, that's a great question, actually. The mentality for us was to try to make training camp as hard as we could. We were trying to get a gauge on some of the guys that we had. I didn't need to test Jamari Gassett. I didn't need to test T.J. Lee. I didn't really need to test Jalen Goss, But with the amount of transfers that we did have coming in, we knew that they were talented, but we needed to find out how much fight they had in them. So, you asked them, and we had some tough afternoons. We had some tough mornings, and that was by for a reason. I wanted to see where we were, who we could trust at this time, who was going to be accountable, who was going to take care of the details. So, mentality-wise, I thought we got over a hurdle. A lot of people thought we were going to come in and this was going to be an easy football game for us. But, we had to readjust our mindset. We had to readjust some of the things that we did offensively, defensively, and even special teams. So I appreciate our guys getting to the sidelines, getting on the iPads, making the corrections, and then showing on the field. But, we're 1-0. We've got a long way to go if we're trying to get back here, in December. But excited about what we did, but we still got a lot of work to do.
Young man over here on the left, on your right.
Justin Favors, Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. Your players talked about how being down 14-0, it allowed them to wake up or whatever. So you guys scored off the first drive, coming out of the second half. What was the message to the team coming out of the half?
Well, we talk about the middle eight, and when we discussed the middle eight, we talk about the last 4 minutes of the second quarter, and then the first 4 minutes of the third. And we had a chance at the end of the second quarter to get some points. And we didn't. We failed in our 2-minute attempt. But when we got to the locker room at half, we talked about being able to go down the field. We had some things that we thought we could do offensively, and again, it was important for us to grab the lead and just to show that you guys come in halftime, work on our corrections, and it's always great to talk about it in the locker room and then get it then to transfer into the field. So it builds confidence in the coaches, it builds confidence in the players. We had different guys at different moments make some really, really good plays, and so again, it's week one. We still got work to do, and I'm hoping I can't wait to get back to work tomorrow so we can get ready for next week.
Right here in the front.
Don Stinson, DNA Sports Talk. Coach Odoms praised your team for having a lot of discipline in this particular game, maybe a little bit more so than last year. What areas did you see the discipline have an effect in this game?
Well, I think he's being very, very generous. We had a couple situations where it gave them some first downs, and those are things that can't happen. I guess maybe in the past some things might have maybe got out of hand, but we had a big third down stop, and we had a hand to the face, and then we had a face mask, in the first half. So those are things we have to ultimately negate because they extend drives, and normally when you extend drives, that gives up points. But we strive to be better. I don't necessarily know how many penalties we may have had, but we had 2. It comes to mind, and that's 3 too many, right? So we continue to work on that. We'll do some running and do some disciplines for some of those things that happened tonight. But it's things we can learn from. It didn't cost us tonight, but ultimately it could cost us later. So ultimately, I'm always going to feel that we need to be better with our discipline.
We're going to go to your right over here, Coach.
Yeah, I'm Kendrick Marshall, SPU Sports. Coach, you walked out of tunnels to football fields an unknown number of times. How was this walk out from the tunnel to the field tonight different, and how was that walk from the field after a win different?
Say that one more time.
I said, how was it different walking out on the field tonight, being the first-year head coach, considering the journey you took to get here, and how was it different walking off the field tonight, knowing you had your first win as head coach of Florida A&M?
Well, I'll tell you this. My first 2 years, I was in charge of the captains, so I would walk the captains to the 50. You know what I mean? Tonight, I had to run. Yeah, they're very different, right? I mean, I'm not used to running from one side to the other, and I do that sometimes, just not as the head coach. That's probably the first part for me. Secondly, it was little butterflies. I had some butterflies in there, and obviously excited to see our fan base. My family was in the stands, and but the best part was walking off 1-0. And that's something that you strive for. And again, I won't be able to relive that moment ever again. But it was exciting for me, excited for the team, excited for the staff, excited for the interim president, everyone affiliated with our program, Rattler Nation. We got a lot of people come watch this football game. We had a lot of people watching this football game on TV. So I think the MEAC SWAC Challenge was the #1 ticket tonight, and that's great to see and great to hear.
Okay, we got our final 2 questions. We're going to go with Coach Johnny, and then we're going to go with Jake.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing well.
HBCU Coach's Corner. We'll get you next week.
Yes, sir.
But, of course, the victory was great and sweet, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But giving up 257 yards rushing, you can't do that each game and talk about national championship.
Of course.
And I know you got to get back and watch film. What was really happening, because you guys were getting caught up in the mixed direction.
Right.
And once they popped through the first line, then, the secondary had to catch them and they had to make one miss. Do you know now what was the issue, or of course you know that's a whole bunch of yards to give up rushing?
Well, I mean, the standard of our defense is you got to stop the run. We can't have the success that we need to have if we don't stop the run. And over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been one of the best in the country. Norfolk was giving us some unbalance. They were moving the line around on us. We call it an ox front, and when you do that, people can get out of gaps. And that first long run, they put us in ox, and then they countered with the guard and the center, and we didn't have enough. And then the running back made a great move, to get the spring, and it went about 82 yards. So, for us, I thought we might have been moving a little bit too much. We normally line up and just, and we just take gaps. And I think we were moving around a little bit too much, especially with the ox and the unbalanced stuff that they were doing. You now have to slide. D-lineman, you got to change your gaps. And we weren't recognizing that. So, you know, things to grow, things to work on. You know, again, I'm not going to tell you that we worked on Ox a heck of a lot, because that's not what they did, right? And then obviously, you know, looking at a guy that was at another program before, so hats off to them. But they thought they did a really, really good job. And ultimately, what happens when you do things poorly, now you wonder what South Carolina State's going to do to us next weekend. You already know they're gonna see if we have that fixed or not. So. But I thought we moved around too much on the defensive line, where normally we play gaps, right? And obviously they did a good job game planning. And but we got some things we got to work on. We know that, and you're right. If we're going to continue to give up 200 yards a game rushing, I don't think we're going to be lucky enough to be winning the game like we did tonight.
Final coach question right here in the front.
Coach Jake McDonald, Core 360 Sports. Usually in the last quarters you start gaming out scenarios. What would happen if? Your scenario for the point after try and then the two-point conversion, did you welcome that two-point conversion? What was going through your mind when you saw that?
Well, I mean, we knew that since we were offsides, that the likelihood of them going for two was going to happen. You know, Coach Odom's called timeout. You know, I thought that was a good move. You know, we called a defense that we thought they were going to run a QB, something with the QB, and we got lucky on that one. You know, we got a chance to get our guy won the one-on-one battle with an amazing tackle. You know, but you know we don't want to be offsides on the extra point. You know, but I mean, again, the other scenario was what it was. Defensively, we did a good job, and we didn't give up the 2 points. And you know, I guess obviously that was the difference of the game.
Coach, thank you, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, everyone, and safe travels back, please, to everyone.